and then me and my wife went and seen him at Fox Theater. in
Really?
Detroit.
I was probably there.
Really?
I went. Yeah, it was like 2019. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was way up in the nosebleeds.
Were you?
Yep.
We were way down.
Oh, nice.
We were like 7 rows away. And what did you think of that show?
So because I had seen him earlier on that tour in Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought he got buried by Andrew Santino.
Okay.
Because Andrew Santino opened for him both places.
All right.
I thought Santino was phenomenal.
Okay.
But then Joe Rogan, like his material was fine, but he was doing bits off of his first album. Like he was like doing like basically reworking bits from his first album. And I was like, dude, you're fucking Joe Rogan. You have all the time in the world to just do podcasts and perform. And this is what you're coming up with. And it's like he's so checked out of like everyday life that it's like I couldn't relate to it.
So you couldn't relate to it.
Like and part of me just being a comedian too, I'm like, I look at jokes and I try to dissect them, and they just didn't seem that good to me.
Okay,
but that was just me. And
I mean, yeah, I could see it.
A couple of like my buddy that I went with to Chicago kind of had the same feeling as well. He was like, yeah, this wasn't the best.
Well, yeah, to me, but see, I think now, it's probably like when he came out and said how many people are here, brought their wives here because of the podcast or whatever he said.
Yeah.
And everybody, kind of roars and you hear that big roar. Like that's a lot of new people.
Yeah.
People like me that never even would have known that he was working that out from that first album.
No, yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm hearing all this shit from the first time. And it's like, why not?
Yeah, no,
to me,
I mean,
you're gonna have your select you guys out there that's like, fuck, man, you're reusing shit. I already know this, but that's like me as a musician when I go to a show or a local show, and I'm like, I can dissect your shit because I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's the same thing because you're, a comedian. You're like, I fucking know you, dude. I've watched your shit. I study you. I study everybody. You know.
Or if I can like see the punchline coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
I'm like,
right.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's Joe Rogan. The dude obviously like he packs out Fox Theater.
Yeah, he's going to for a long time too, as long as he wants to keep doing it.
But
he keeps talking about building his own comedy shit down there.
Well, he's starting a club in Austin.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Building.
He's going to build an empire there.
Hell yeah, he is.
But I mean, I think there's so many better comedians touring right now. That just
so it seems like you just don't like him at all.
No,
I don't know. I think you just don't like him.
I
think you think he's just like got too big.
I don't know.
You think
it's hard to say.
You'd rather have somebody else building the empire down there than Joe.
No, Rogan. I think it's cool with him building the empire because somebody needs to. Because he basically did.
He's got the buck of money too now.
He's got the money. He's got all the money in the world. Yeah. But he also he did do that for the Comedy Store, I guess. He brought comedy. He made comedy popular in LA again by
I don't think the guy has any ill intent.
No, not at all. I just think
I think he just was like, you know what? I am so busy with this shit, and I have so many more new fans. I can use some of this.
He's basically Rocky when he's going to fight fucking Clubber Lang the first time. He's just he's paid his dues. He's done his shit, so he's just kind of in easygoing mode.
But he's paid his dues less than say Chris Rock or these other famous comedians that you would say paid their dues along the comedian route.
Yeah,
he definitely did early on. He talks about it a lot about all of his open mic spots and stuff that he did along the way because it was just comedians stuff at first, for him.
No, yeah.
But I would say probably significantly less than, your other more famous comedians. That's all they've ever done.
Yeah.
Because his podcast obviously is now just
well, if it wasn't for UFC, I don't think he'd have
or UFC
near the following that he has.
Right.
But I mean, he's fucking Joe Rogan. The dude's he's definitely on he's one of the leaders of comedy, but I just don't. I like him as I
don't even consider him a leader of comedy.
Exactly, that's the thing.
I don't consider him a leader of comedy. I consider him a leader of kind of a culture-ish more.
By leader of comedy, I mean without Joe Rogan, I wouldn't have been introduced to a lot of other comedians.
That is very true. That is very true.
Yeah, I would never would have heard of Tom Segura or Bert Kreischer, any of these other dudes,
none of these
Joey
comedians.
Diaz,
Joey Diaz, dude. I listen to his podcast
Yeah.
now too. Like that dude gives me one of those things. Like I just like listening to him. Like once he does, like he gets past the funny phase, and he's just talking to
He
you.
goes into it when he like
he's just
kind of just
talking
leans
to you.
forward and like
Yeah. And then he starts really talking to you.
shit that you're like, oh, should
yeah.
you be saying
Have you ever
this?
listened to his
Oh, yeah.
podcast? Yeah. And like his new one that he's got, because it's not church no more. It's the joint.
No, I haven't
think
heard
now.
that one.
Yeah, it's early on it's like, well, he's basically probably doing the same thing. Because I didn't listen to a lot of the church. I'd listen to more of this one. But yeah, it's just I like listening to it. It's just nice to listen to. Yeah, maybe the story isn't always 100% relatable.
Yeah.
But you can still gain something out of it.
Yeah.
He's trying to like teach you something.
No, yeah,
But yeah, so many comedians that I would have never known.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. But I still don't consider him a leader of comedy.
No, he's more of just like one of the like I guess founding. I'm trying to figure out how to like word it. Like not like he's not like a founding father of comedy, but like this generation of comedy. He's like one of the leaders in it. I think. Like without Joe Rogan, you wouldn't have this era of comedy that we have because he is a heavy hitter.
He's ushering in a new era, I guess.
And he's
the leader of that.
Yeah, and he's bringing fans to comedy that necessarily wouldn't have been comedy fans.
But like Dave Chappelle,
yeah,
like he is like a leader of comedy.
Oh yeah,
much more over Joe Rogan.
Joe
Rogan just brings this comedy and these other comedians that he's really clung to, and they're getting popular.
Yeah,
and then his podcast following.
Yeah, I mean Joe Rogan, he just has the platform that is able to like just blow anybody up. Like if anyone goes on Rogan's podcast, they're getting notoriety immediately. So
like if you got contacted by him, you're like, fuck.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I could never like hate the dude. Sometimes like though you'll be listening to one of his podcasts or something, and you'll be like, dude, just shut up. Like people say sometimes, like, just shut up, let the other guy talk. Especially if it's like really something I'm interested in, like space, or like and all that, and like science stuff. It's like, oh, just let the guy talk.
See, that's what did it for me. Because he had Alex Honnold on twice, which is that rock climber that climbs about a rope, and I know a lot about rock climbing. Right. So fucking much. And then I hear like Alex Honnold talking about it, and then I hear Joe Rogan like chiming in with his 2 cents. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Like it's like how much other stuff that he brings up is he just like talking out of his ass. I'm like,
right.
So it got to the point for me where I was like, all right, his podcast is good. It's entertaining. But it got so long-winded and like so almost like conspiracy theory-ish and like just like I'm not learning anything anymore. And like it can be funny sometimes, like depending on the guest. But